Bad days, worry days, cry days. I mean, mad. Like Helene. I hate that name. I mean, I'm sorry, but everlasting. I mean, water and fire are bad. But I think water is worse because you have to stand back and just let her do her thing. Let the water do its thing and then go clean up the mess. My thoughts. They both have an odor though. Fire has an odor and so does water. It's something that you won't forget. Make us strong. We'll be strong.
Did you have any idea when you heard the weather forecast that it would be, did you think you'd get some water into the floor maybe or something, or what was your thoughts?
I think the talk around was, might be calf deep. So, more than calf deep.
Okay. So when did it kind of dawn on you that that wasn't the case? Did you see pictures? How did you hear about what was happening?
I went to Hill Street and walked down to see. And of course, no one had ever seen anything like that. And it really didn't register. I thought, well, the glass is there and, maybe a little water inside, but I think that was just a hopeful thought. It just didn't really click. It didn't really click until even when I was in here. It's just odd. It's just something we've never been through. The last time the water was through the front door, I think, was 1940. So.
How did you first see it?
Well, when I could get across the street, because we had to go to Hill Street and look down. But when the water finally receded enough and the current, we could get across the street, came through one of the display windows and I crawled through. And it was, calf deep in mud. Everything was just, there was no lights. It was dark. It was, and just tried to look around and see what was where. It was just kind of like a dream, really. It's when you first walk in, but I was trying to see what was left, see where, and then the back door's gone, the window's gone. Just washed it away. A lot of stuff, went out the window or the back door.
Hello, I'm Tim Barnwell, and welcome to the Face of Appalachia. On September 24, 2024, Hurricane Helene hit western North Carolina, bringing damaging winds and floods to communities throughout the region. Especially hard hit were riverside towns, including Marshall, North Carolina. I've been reviewing our footage, and it's hard to believe the extent of the damage. In a matter of hours, every business in town was devastated as the French Broad River came out of its banks and flowed down Main Street. This included Penland store, one of the oldest in town. My parents used to shop there back in the 1950s when we lived in Marshall when I was a boy, and I've stayed friends with the owners, including Barbara Penland and later her daughters Susan and Georgette. We featured Penlands in one of our previous episodes on Old Country Stores, and I'll put a link in the description below in case you want to check that out. When I visited Marshall after the flood, Susan and her husband were there cleaning out the store, and they let me take a look inside. When they opened the doors, it just brought me to tears. Over 5 foot 8 inches of water had been in the main level and just ruined everything. Seeing that empty space with everything down to the floor joist gone, it just hit me what was really lost. It was not only the inventory, which they can replace, but it was 100 years of history that store represented. I thought about all the people that shopped there over the years, including myself, and the fond memories that many of them have shared with me about their experience with the store and the owners. Like many who shop there, I would just go in and look around at all the neat stuff. They had all these great items up on the upper shelves that were everyday items at one point, but today are just curiosities. Most of those were lost. Today, every shop owner in town has faced with the question of whether they're going to rebuild and reopen. Fortunately, Georgette and Susan and their families have decided they will reopen Penlands. And I sat down recently with Georgette and talked about the flood, how it impacted them, their plans for the future, and I hope you'll enjoy hearing her story. Thanks for watching.
I'm Georgette Shelton. The Penland & Sons has been here, the store has been here over 100 years. Granddaddy, James Nathaniel Penland, bought it from Mr. Tweed in the early 50s. And then Daddy, Uncle Joe, Penland & Sons. Daddy died, Joe died. Mama went from the beauty shop over here, kept it going, and then Mama got sick. Then I came down, and then Susan came on board after she retired.
And Susan's your sister, and you
Yes.
alternate weeks?
We do. Yeah, she works a week and I work a week.
So kind of tell me, what all products did you carry? Kind of a array of things.
Carhartt, Red Wing, Irish Setter, Cavu, and we had housewares like brooms and mops and rakes and pocket knives and Stuart and I jewelry, locally made items, candles, Afghans, pottery, stuff that was made in Madison County. Books, we have lots of books about the area, the author from the area, just lots of books. We sold lots of books.
So what did you enjoy about the store?
Just the people, just seeing people, just hearing stories. They'd come in and tell you stories that they've come in here with their grandparents, or they came in here when they were a little boy or a little girl, or they got their first pair of shoes or first pair of overalls in here. It's just, just the fellowship of the talking to the people.
My daddy loved Penlands, and we wanted our daddy to be buried in overalls because that's what he wore. Well, when he'd go to church on Sunday, he'd wear pants and a white shirt. But during the week, he wore overalls, and we wanted him buried in overalls. So we went to Penlands, my sister and I did, bought him a new pair of overalls and a new shirt, and the lady, and I don't remember who she was, took that shirt and went upstairs and took it, unwrapped it, ironed it, and put it on a hanger so we could take it to the funeral home. I mean, that's how well they knew him and everything, but he loved that store.
So I know when coming in the store and looking around, in addition to just the straight up fixtures, you had a lot of kind of knickknacks and kind of neat things that people had given you, or?
A lot of them, some were donated and give to us. They want us to put it on the shelf. The majority of it was family stuff. Stuff that was left in the store that has been in the store for years and years and years. When Mom and Daddy died, some of their stuff, Daddy was quite the collector of stuff, radios, but we just put them up on the shelf. I mean, where are you going to put it? On the shelf.
So I think it created a real personality for the store that I always gravitated to.
Yeah, everybody likes it. Everybody wants to know, since the flood, was the stuff on the shelf saved? Yeah, because it was about a foot below. The water level was about a foot below the shelves. It was 5 feet 8 inches in here.
Wow. What was your plan of action when you came and saw that you had take a while to kind of process and decide whether you're going to rebuild or what you're...
It's one day at a time. You just look at it and go through it, see what it is. Of course, you have to talk to your insurance people, and they kind of tell you what to do. But it had to get cleaned out. You had to get the mud out. So, and look at your inventory. What goes to the dump. And the majority of all of it went to the dump.
And you want to reopen the store?
Oh yeah, we do. Just going through the motions of estimates and lining stuff up to get done and what you can do. I guess there's a plan of action that has to be done before this can be done before this. So getting people in line to do it, we're not the only people that need heating and cooling and windows. Everybody does. So, I think we just have to be patient, and it'll happen.
Have you heard from customers and folks?
Oh, yeah.
People reach
Everybody
out?
wants to know about the floors. Everybody wants to know about the floors. Hopefully we can put wood floors back. Hopefully. We'll see.
So that's a popular thing, something people remember?
Yeah, walking in and the squeaking and the noise, they're like, I don't know if the new floors will squeak or not. We may have to put squeakies in.
Yeah.
But, try to put it back like it was as close as we can. That's my thought, my goal, my wish. Hopefully. We'll just see how it goes.
You said you were able to salvage the old cash registers?
Yes. Yes. They were underwater. They're heavy. And we've got them up high. But hopefully that someday we can get those. I'd like to be able to get those refurbished or looked at and on display again.
Where did they come from originally? How did they end up here?
I just remember them being in the store.
As long as you can.
They were always in the store. There's two of them. One of them worked, and then I guess it quit. So then they got another one. Then it quit. Then we went to more modern cash registers.
What do you think hurts the worst that you lost as far as stuff in the store? What was most meaningful, I guess?
Well, it all was. I mean, the tables and, there was a pencil sharpener on the back that's been there ever since I've ever been here. An old-timey pencil sharpener. You think about that. I had a little green chair, my little green rocker when I was a little girl that the kids sat in and played in. It's gone somewhere down the river. But, it's just stuff. We're not hurt. We're alive. We're very thankful.
So tell me a little bit about the people that came to help out.
People from here, near and far, all over the United States. I mean, just so helpful. Just, people will walk in with a shovel and throw stuff in a wheelbarrow. Didn't even have to ask. I mean, they just knew. And it is so appreciated. I mean, I'll never be able to thank everybody. But, it's been very humbling. I mean, it's just, people just come up to you and say, what can I do? And you just tell them, and they do. And two women from Alabama dug the mud out from underneath the building next door. I mean, I can't get on my knees to dig that out, but I mean, it's just, and it's hard labor. It's hard labor. I mean, we were taking up the floor in the building next door, and people would just come and start shoveling and picking and pulling, and you didn't ask. I mean, they just saw that that's what we were doing. We needed help, and they just did it. It's the National Guard, and the active servicemen from Kentucky. I mean,
Everybody pitched in, and sounds like all had the same mission. And
yeah, I mean, you just look at it and say, "Oh, that's not good. We got to get that up," and it just happened. Just everybody just saw a task and started in.
so, what kind of buildings on the south end of town? What's gone? What do you remember? Because I mean, other than the depot, I'm having a hard time with my orientation of what was there.
Well, Ponders, where you got your car inspected. The majority of the woodworking shop, which we always call the cleaners, because, our great-grandparents had the cleaners. So 3/4 of that's gone. Joe's Eads Antiques, where his building was, where Louis Sembach lives, it's gone. There's nothing. The Riddle building's gone. Joe's junk little building's gone. You know, it's just down on the other end of North Main. The old DMV building's gone. I mean, it's just gone.
And what amazes me, I guess, is just riding down Main Street and looking in every storefront, and they're empty. You know, they're down to the frame.
Yeah, every business was affected by this. Some worse than others. I mean, the whole town.
So you think the town's going to be able to come back?
I think it will. It might be a little different, but it'll be good. You know, it'll take a while. Who knows? I guess it'll be a change, another change.
Yeah.
But a good change. It'll have to be good. We'll make it good.
Yeah.
And you can still see the watermark on some of the buildings. So we need to mark it. You know, everybody want to know where the 1916 flood was. Well, we can mark that one too, but it'll be below the 2024 flood, that's for sure. Just unimaginable.
When you and I must part, but little you know of the grief and woe of my poor aching heart. Each night I suffer for your sake. Believe me when I say you are the one I love the best until my dying day. I wish my breath